The Alliance. Soweto, at night. The warehouse was silent. Knife stood surrounded. BIG, Masivan, and the Italians had their guns raised. Knife looked around. There was nowhere to run. BIG. Tonight, Knife, your story ends. Knife stared at him. His heart was beating faster. Then, bang! A gunshot came from nowhere. The leader of the Italians fell. Everyone froze. Another shot. Then another. Suddenly the warehouse exploded into chaos. Men began shooting at each other. Knife realized what had happened. Someone had been waiting for this moment. An enemy of the Italians had taken advantage of their meeting and started the attack. Knife immediately ran toward an exit, but then he stopped. He looked back. BIG was protecting Masivan. Bullets were flying everywhere, but BIG had put himself between Masivan and the attackers. Knife stared. For a second he forgot about escaping. Then a thought entered his mind. Business! Knife realized something. If he saved BIG and Masivan, he could gain something more powerful than fear. An alliance. Knife pulled out his gun. He turned around. Knife. Get down! He opened fire toward the attackers. BIG looked at him in shock. BIG. Knife? Knife kept fighting. Masivan was trapped behind a wall. Knife moved toward him, covering him, while BIG returned fire. The warehouse became a battlefield. Smoke filled the air. Glass shattered. People screamed, but Knife didn't run. He fought beside the two men who had been his enemies only hours earlier. Finally, the shooting stopped. Silence returned. Knife stood breathing heavily. BIG looked at him. BIG, you could have left. Knife lowered his gun. Knife. I could have. Masivan stepped forward. Masivan. Then why didn't you? Knife looked at them. Knife. Because sometimes the smartest move isn't destroying your enemy. He paused. Knife. Sometimes you turn your enemy into your partner. BIG smiled. For the first time, he respected Knife. Days later, Soweto. News spread quickly. Knife had saved BIG and Masivan. The streets began talking. Some people feared him. Others respected him. But BIG understood something. Knife wasn't just a fighter anymore. He was becoming a businessman. The three men met again. This time, there were no guns on the table. BIG looked at Knife. BIG, you proved yourself. Masivan nodded. Masivan, from today Soweto knows your name. Then came the offer. Knife would receive control of Meadowlands Zone 10 as his new territory, and Knife would share part of his Johannesburg territory with the Alliance. The enemies had become partners. A new power had been created, Johannesburg School. While all of this was happening, Book was changing. Her grades were getting better. Her teachers were amazed by how quickly she learned. But her attitude, that was another story. She was becoming tougher, more confident, and sometimes too aggressive. A student tried to make fun of her. Student, you think you're better than everyone? Book looked at him. Book, no. She smiled. Book, I just work harder than everyone. The classroom went quiet. Her teacher tried not to smile. Book was becoming wiser. She knew that knowledge could take her somewhere violence never could. But the anger inside her was still there. The same anger she had learned from Knife's world. She was becoming a strange combination. A brilliant mind with a dangerous attitude. Johannesburg and Soweto. Book had never asked for power, yet somehow she had it. People who had never even met her knew her name. She became protected, respected. People in Johannesburg knew she was Knife's weakness. People in Soweto knew she was under the protection of the new alliance. Nobody touched her. Nobody threatened her. Nobody even wanted to be known as her enemy. And Book didn't even understand the power her name carried. She was simply going to school, studying, and trying to understand the world around her. Knife, night. Knife returned to the hotel. Book was studying. Knife watched her quietly. Book, you're back. Knife, yes. Book looked at him. Book, did you win? Knife smiled. Knife, something like that. Book, Knife, can I tell you something? Knife. Of course. Book. You always talk about business. Knife nodded. Book. But you never study business.
Knife laughed.
Knife. I don't need school. Book stared at him. Book. You're afraid to learn. Knife's smile disappeared. He looked at her. She continued. Book. You've built everything with your hands. But maybe what's inside your head can build something better. Knife was silent. Book. You should take a course. Knife. A course? Book. Marketing. Knife. Marketing? Book. Yes. She smiled. Book. You want to become a businessman, right? Knife nodded. Book. Then learn how business actually works. Knife looked at her. For years, people had told him how to fight, how to survive, how to make money, but Book was telling him something different. Knife looked down. Then he looked at his hands. The same hands that had held weapons could hold a pen. The same mind that had planned wars could plan a business. For the first time, Knife saw another future. The next morning, Knife stood outside a college. His new life was standing in front of him, then walked inside. Sometimes change arrives as a small decision, a decision to learn, a decision to listen. Knife had spent years following the decisions of his past, but now he was finally listening to what had always been inside his heart. Because the heart has a strange power. It can remember the person you wanted to become. What's in your heart can still win against the decisions you made yesterday.